going to double your house price in 2 years. I don't think so. And so we need to really zoom out and see what is the purpose of the app and how far do we want this to go. So I have to dissect this into a few different layers. One is that we probably are facing the most severe financial difficulty since 2008, because there's always has been inflation since 2008. There hasn't been really any tapering or constrictions on the monetary supply after 2008. So we see the Bitcoin bull market start from 2008, but in fact, it is also helped dramatically by the oversupply of money. And we are looking at the Fed now doing the constrictions of tapering and also interest hike. So we are now facing the real challenge now. That's one. And for that particular reason, we have seen the Solana fall from 250 all-time high to, let's say, $40 or $39 up until now, roughly a 75% of drop. So born in the bear market,
which is huge.
Which is huge. So born in the bear market, so we've tried really hard to deliver something that is functional, fun, but also aim to improve people's not only the health, their mental health, the physical health, but also potentially, if possible, the financial and also livelihood. But also important to stress that STEPN, the aim is to really onboarding the Web2 user to Web3 and getting people to fit. So we see sometimes it is difficult that you have to pop the bubble in many cases. And if we allow anything to go rampage without any correction or to remind people that it is a very dangerous area we are treading to, it will always not end up well. So in a sense that for a long-term perspective and to have a longevity of development of the app, it is inevitable that all the bubble has to be popped. So sometimes you do soft landing, sometimes you do hard landing, but in the end you have to land. Otherwise, you will go to the rock bottom. And we have always considered and designing a robust ecosystem and also a tokenomics. So really how it works with the realm design that we explored on the BNB chain. So when getting to the second point is there will be no perfect to start, right? So we have designed really hard to make sure everything is right. You know, if people can remember from the very beginning of how the app starts, we have changed a lot of things. For example, how the energy works and how people can level in the past, we can level multiple sneakers together, but now they can only level one with all the transfer of sneakers, the energy reduction when they transfer the sneaker away. So there's many things that we cannot foresee. And we've tried the best basically to provide what we can foresee and then to monitor the system of what needs to be done. And in this case, that a energy bridge and also the maintenance scroll is vitally important when we are rolling out the new realm to make sure that everything is in check. So there are a slight design flaw that when we roll out the BNB realm that we sort of overlooked. It's just like the sort of many of the readjustments we have done when the Solana realm came out first. And now we have identified the issues and we are confident that with the new design and the of the third realm, then it will be a much better user experience. And also it will offer user a better opportunity when they can be well prepared, you know, for the third realm.
The opportunity to enter?
Sorry?
The opportunity to enter?
The percentage of enter?
No, opportunity to enter.
Yes. So meaning that onboarding on people to the third realm will definitely, we will talk about that when it comes to near of when we're going to release it. But it will basically offer people, for people that didn't participate in BNB and for people, it's very interesting to see people that initially are complaining that BNB is killing the Solana server and then to the, well, to the point that when BNB sort of go up and down, people change their perspective and attitude, and also more like what they think of what happened there. So after implementing the new system and the mechanics with a new realm, I do believe that we'll be offering a better user experience on the third realms, and also something more interesting that we want to design and also roll out. So basically, I think overall, the ecosystem has to recorrect itself. Sometimes it has to be done voluntarily, and sometimes it has to be induced, but it has to be done. And it is pain, it is suffer, it is people don't feel wow because, but again, looking at the history that, stock, cryptos, Bitcoins, everything goes up and down. But as long as we survive, and we will get into the next cycle. So the survivability is very important to us, and especially that in the bear market. So that is what we do. So we try very hard to be still as a technical focused, user experience focused, and community focused project. And definitely that we are ahead of other projects in this X to earn genre. And we do believe that we will stay in this position for a very long time.
Yeah, I understand it perfectly from the standpoint of a developer. That's clear. But the basic question that is get asked for me to spill in this AMA is like, do you think that the floor in both BNB and Solana STEPN is going to recover ever? And
Okay.
if yes, what do you think should be done? What should happen in order for it to recover?
This will be discussed in two perspectives. One is that what is the intrinsic value that we offer to the user that do have support on the floor value. And second is the general sort of macroeconomies or the environment. And also a slowly built of brand awareness and externalities. So that people feel that the floor price has dropped, and they are frustrated that they cannot make their own ROI, which is about 40 days to get their money back. Again, there will be a first mover advantage in STEPN and also in the new realms, but it will not always be there. So as the server grow, you're looking at a diminished return on your investment, but rest assured that as long as the app stay attracting new users, building new community, trap new values, and make new values, and deliver business services to our, business partners, it will have a very strong value and value proposition to both the business partners and also the users. And meaning that people will have a positive gain in the app. Doesn't matter it is a health or personal relationships, mental health, or again, God forbid, for financially, they will come in positive. And people, I do believe that they need to be more patient. It is, again, a Web3 onboarding tool for the Web2 users, and also we can call it extra earn game that encourage people to nudge them into getting more fit. So again, going back to the question, if your question still focus on the financial returns, I have to terminate the AMA because this is not what we building this community for. And this is definitely not what we're trying to promote out there.
So you said, yeah, it's more about getting fit and sport, etc. But I understand that, but you realize that 99.9% of the users of STEPN, they really just get there to make money. You should understand
Hold on a second there, right? So we create this as the move to earn. You can simply understand this as a user onboarding mechanics, where we will be onboarding a lot of users and to create a vibrant ecosystem and also a community. And out of this community, we can build many more things and create real values. And value doesn't create overnight, and consensus doesn't create overnight. And if you expect that we can create a huge, unshakable structure or values, is almost impossible. And you need time to build the community, you need time to build product. And I do believe that we are spending, 15 hours a day or even more, 7 days a week, 7 days a week, and just to roll out new updates, provide new mechanics, and to shape, make the whole ecosystem more stable. I don't believe that people here are 99.9% for the financial gains. Yes, it is an important factor, but I don't believe that our community are purely financial driven. So the financial incentives is important, or the token incentive is important. But if people are purely chased for that, you probably consider this as almost a DeFi mining protocols. And then you see what happened with DeFi mining protocols. And you see what happened with X Infinity. Things that are purely driven by financial returns will not always end well. And it is very important for us to notify that, to acknowledge that, also to make change and to onboarding the Web2 users and to shift away from that.
Okay, understood. So do you think that, in my opinion, that the emergence of the minting calculator, the ones that was made by the guys who have made STEPN Guide, you know STEPN Guide, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the guys have posted this minting calculator, which was a very easy and handy way for the people to calculate and count the profitability of the minting. And this is actually, in my opinion, was the point where it all started. I mean, of course, the first crash started with the Luna case, with Solana dropping to $40. But the second one was that 90% of the people were just minting without even realizing they were actually losing money. It was actually not profitable. And so when I saw this calculator and I saw that the minting in Solana STEPN is practically dead in the water, I realized that most of the people, they were just like, I don't know, too lazy to calculate that the minting that they were doing was actually not profitable, was actually losing their money. This was the point where the people were starting to realize that there was no actually reason to mint anymore. And it was obvious that the GST would drop right after the floor in the marketplace. Do you think that it was the case? Do you think that, like, when the mint, I mean, STEPN's economy is basically grounded in the minting, right? When the minting doesn't work, the floor and the GST just drops. Do you agree with me on that?
Okay. Do not rely on salary to pay on daily to sustain your livelihood.
Rely on what?
Okay. Do you expect to get paid daily so that you can pay your groceries or mortgage or whatever? I don't think so, right? I don't think so, because that's the reason we need to have a long-term planning. People mint, yes, they can sell the mint sneakers in the NFT marketplace and then make profit, or not. Or they mint to seek for the perfect breed, for example, the perfect sockets. Or they mint to having a higher quality sneakers. People mint for various reasons, or they mint to give their friends, families a sneaker. So a second point is that the STEPN guide, the information there are not wholly accurate.
Yeah, it's
so
not
we
accurate,
are rolling out changes, and we are outlining all the changes. And now, especially the minting cost is dynamic. How do they adjust their mint cost in line with our daily update, and in line with the GMT price fluctuation, and in line with the GST price fluctuation? It doesn't. So
it doesn't.
People have to calculate themselves and say, is it worth it? And people are facing different situations. If you have like a 6 out of 7 mints, you say, let's just try to get a twin. You will have different motivations and you have different expectations. You have a different purpose for Mint. And that's one with mintings. And also, GST is a placeholder as we're developing the app for the long terms. As I mentioned this for many times, it is an inflationary token. Don't expect GST price keep going up. It only goes up in a highly demand market. For example, in newer realms.
It only goes up and if the mint is profitable, right?
It only goes up if there's more demand than supply. And why you don't have more demand? Because you expect that the price goes up, right? But eventually you will plateau, you will go break even, and then like what happened on BNB chain. But that's the reason we have new realms, offer new opportunities. But going back to the original question, we are consuming a lot of GMTs, which in preparation of the GMT earning, GMT have to have a very strong support on the values. That's all the reason we are building the DEX. So that's the reason building various other platforms. It needs to be a cross-platform token to absolutely offer a ton of use cases and value for people to stake, to use, to consume, to burn. And that's the time where people can earn the GMTs. So shifting the user to earn the GMT is the top priority here. And don't rely on the GST. GST will be almost like a lubricant, right? So when you see you need GST for repairs, for other things, you say, all right, let's switch to make some GST. But I want people to make GMT, and it's a finite supply, is highly sought after, let's say in the future, and it should have very strong support on the values. So when people are complaining about that GST price keep going down, they are not seeing the full picture of what is available or possible in the long terms. And again, people should not live like a goldfish that they can only remember things happened a couple of days ago. Looking in the long terms. Or do you just want to make your money back, and then sell the sneakers? Again, that's not our target audience here.
So what is your target audience?
Sorry?
What is your target audience?
The target audience are a mixture of people that are enthusiastic about outdoor fitness. It's about building a vibrant Web3 community, and also that are curious about cryptos and want to learn about more of what is available out there, and also using our future services. Again, the user should contribute to the community, and the community or the STEPN as an app will incentivize the users. See this as a reciprocal relationships. There's no taking. It's also the giving. If you only take from the community, then you are not welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of the growth of the users, don't you think that the growth of the users will slow down now that a month ago, people would just tell their friends like, wow, man, just take a look at how much money I've made with STEPN. And what we have during the last month is people just telling their friends, fuck, I've lost so much money in STEPN. Don't you think that there's reputational harm that was made with dropping on the floor? And do you think it will in any way affect the market, the growth of the euros, etc.?
I would like you to take off the crypto hat and wear more of a normie's hat. What on earth you are making thousands of dollars a day by working?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
so if you're telling this to your friend is thinking you are into some sort of a pyramid scheme. Going back to the normal, going back to the equilibrium, and stay in the equilibrium is what we are building on. Building something that is on fantasy and non-sustainable is not what we are doing. Yes, it feels awesome that you're making $1,000 a day, but you definitely know this is not sustainable. Who's paying for that? People ask for this, right? So it is the same group of people asking, well, who is paying for this $1,000 and is also getting a 2 or 3 pair of mobile phones and then trying to work 5 hours a day, right? So, and those are exactly type of people that are withdrawing from the app. again, going back to the topic, we want to have people enjoying the app, explore different use cases or fun apps, fun applications or fun use cases that we build, and get involved in the activities we build and be part of the community, you know.
Yeah, I understand that.
So user onboarding. Oh, sorry. Just going back to the question. Just one more minute. So user onboarding. Who is the audience, right? We bootstrap our first Web3 users, and we can see the crazy onboarding and adoptions. But the true repertoire of the huge potential users are from the Web2, and those users hasn't been effectively utilized. And that's next our objective. As now, the earning is more making sense, although it's still crazy in the Web2 terms, but it normalizes and it will enable the people cannot afford and also enable the Web2 users to be on board. In the end, as you see that the more user we have, the more power we can utilize the user to bring the externalities into building the value with us. Only if we can create values, let's say with the business partners, with the co-partners, we open the newer realms, that they will be willing to provide perks and benefit to our user.
Yeah.
So consider. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's the value you're speaking of? The main value for the users, for the new users. Do you think it's making money or more like getting fit and like exercising and stuff?
It's always difficult to start exercising, and the monetary or the token incentives is a nudge for them to get them started.
Yeah, but
if you yeah, go ahead.
And this incentive, as I said before, is that I mean, I understand. Again, if someone have thought that I am like here to criticize STEPN for people losing their money, this is completely wrong. Because again, any crypto investment is a very high risk thing. Go check Luna case, okay? Everyone was thinking that it was rock solid, etc. I just admire the fact that you have completed your first challenge, which is in the first place to create this app, to make this app working, which is like no one else before you has accomplished that. But now you are facing an even harder challenge in those really unfortunate external factors like Solana dropping. You are now facing the challenge to revive the app, and deal with this panic, with this spot. So what I'm asking here is again, I'm not criticizing, not whatsoever. Just asking, how do you think you can revive the app and bring more new users, given the fact that people are just hearing from their friends like, man, I lost the money with this STEPN. This is the real challenge, and I think that you are being really, really smart, so you can accomplish it. But I'm just curious how.
Okay, one is there's no reviving the app because we are still looking at a good onboarding rate on Solana and also on the BNB chain. So you're looking at the user depository of the SOL or BNB or online activities. You see that we are still very much in the positive of the growth. That's one. And two is that we are focusing on onboarding of the Web2 users, so the Web3. That's exactly the reason that we started the Strava Club, we started the Strava Ambassador, and to getting people, let's say, athletes to be part of this initiative and to build our community together. So we have a pretty good run with the Web3 onboarding. We have people that are using it, understand totally of how it works and what's going on. And now it's our job to onboard the Web2 users. And that's two. And three, I think I've explained enough of how the realm works so that you will always offer better opportunities and newer opportunities for people that miss out the parabolic growth. Let's say on the Solana, on the BNB, there always has been parabolic growth and it always has to come back to the equilibrium. So it's not reviving, it's about growing and perfect the system and perfect the mechanics over time, because we see what happened to Axie go up and down, and that's it. So that's not what we want to be designed, right? So sorry about that. So that we come up with new designs, and there are more, because as I touched bases on this a couple of weeks ago, that we are talking about building the meta structures. So not only that we are building different layers of STEPN on different blockchains on the realm, we're also building different infrastructures to offer better services to our users. So consider STEPN as a tool for people to earn GMT and to spend GMT. It's a starting point for people to earn and spend GMT, and there will be others infrastructure people to earn and spend GMT.
Can you give us a hint into what those new mechanics for STEPN are going to look like in the future to allow people to earn GMT? And do you think it really will help the people who have like the most of the community that has entered throughout the last months earning GMT?
Okay.
Do you think it will? Yeah.
Okay. So there will be a balance between the demand and supply. So we have put 10% of the circulating supply to the market. It's a lot. It's about 600 million tokens. And with parabolic growth as much, we need to reduce the token supplies so that we have a better support on the token values. And that's the reason that when you are using GMT to mint new sneakers, you actually burn the GMT and reduce GMT total supplies. And once we see that there is a very strong support of the GMT value as people are needing them on a daily basis, and as we look at now, it's about 3 to 5 million GMT have been burned on a daily basis. If you keep this rate, then eventually we're going to run out the GMT, and that's not good, because before that you will start to see a natural growth. So we need to allow people to earn GMT to balance the removing of the GMT out of the circulating supply by injecting GMT into the circulating supply. It's all about, again, the balance between the need, supply, and demand. And on the newer realms, yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of the balance, don't you think that you should have done more to really slow down the growth of the new accounts, like the Chinese farming minting farms? I'm sure you've seen those videos, right? The Chinese guys with like hundreds of phones just minting the new sneakers, taking step and really just like a monetary incentivized thing. Don't you think that it would have been better to slow down the growth of the new accounts by, you understand that the activation code system that you have right now doesn't really help with the limiting of the growth, because I don't know anyone who has had problems with acquiring a new activation code. Don't you think it would have been better to actually, like, I don't know, giving the activation codes for, like, I don't know, the accounts with like at least 20 energies at least once in 2 days to at least tackle those Chinese minting farms, because with the Chinese minting farms were actually disrupting the whole economics of the STEPN, because the market of the sneakers right now is overwhelmed. Don't you think it would have been better?
Okay, minting farm is not something new. We see that in Axie, and we've seen that happen around the world. It's not only Chinese are doing the minting farm stuff. And we have seen that. We have seen what happened with the minting farm, and that's the reason we have developed the minting scroll that will be available in the following update. But again, things have to roll out in time. And it's not only about the minting farm causing the issue, it's also about the distribution of the sneakers initially, so that we will make some changes with the third realm so that the sneakers are distributed evenly and with good supply. And because really it's about early monopoly of sneakers in the beginning. You have seen people are buying a lot of sneakers, driving the price up, and then start to mint. And they are selling at high prices and exploiting the whole goodwills of other users. So with addressing of this issue in the new realms, we'll make sure that the new realm will be more robust on their total wellness of the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, also one of the... go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, it's okay. Go ahead.
One of the very good suggestions that I've received from the smart people in STEPN is that, changing the allowability to mint, not in the realm of changing the prices of the mint, but rather allowing the sneaker to be minted depending on the level. In STEPN right now, what we have now is that once the sneaker is level 5, you can mint however often that you want. But the suggestion that I get often from the people is that, for example, getting the availability to the minting of the second time is for level 10, for the third time level 15, etc.
Okay.
Have you thought about it?
It doesn't solve the real issue. What is the purpose of the app? Tell me.
What the purpose of the app?
Yeah.
For the most people, unfortunately, sadly, this is unfortunately for most people, it's just making money. Sadly, because we are in crypto, I understand that there are higher goals and higher incentives, etc. But we are in crypto, and in crypto, people don't love the brand, they don't love the case, the use case. They just love the money. Sadly,
okay.
But it's just the truth.
Does the making money part change your behavior? What that behavior is?
In STEPN or in general?
Yeah, in STEPN, yes.
There are two kinds of users of the STEPN, as far as I know. The minters and the runners. The guys who are just running, repairing their shoes, and then cashing out their GST. And there's the other part of the people who are just minting and selling their shoes right away after they have minted.
Exactly. So as you know that we want people to go outside and run and walk. And
really
that is the purpose. And unfortunately, there are the minting type. It's also another way of capitalizing the asset. So although that's something that we didn't expect, but with the minting scroll, meaning that the people that are running will make the shot, not people that are making the mint. It was another way around, which is unnatural, right? So people that having the most of assets will call the shot versus that people are actually do the work. Apparently, this is also a very sad fact that, in the real life, it's always that the cases. But in the STEPN world, we want people that doing the runnings, walkings, call the shot. So in the newer design of the mystery box, we will have the minting scroll, and each realm will have a different minting scroll proportions, which means that how much the sneaker worth will be wholly decided by the people that are doing the walk or run, and not by the people doing the mint, because minter have to buy these scrolls. If there is a scarcity of the scroll, price goes up, and then the profit will be shared to the workers or runners. And that's the distribution of the profit. So the minter will always render a portion of the profit to the people that are doing the work, and not the worker or runner got exploited by the minter, which happened to be happening on the BNB chain, which is the one of the most important update we have to roll out to address this in the next round.
Yeah. Okay. One of the questions that I get most of the time is people really wanted to ask you why in the BNB chain the number of NFT sneakers has doubled throughout 1 week, starting from May 23rd. I'm not sure if you have seen it in Binance Smart Chain Scan, but on May 23rd, there was a total of 20,000 NFTs, STEPN NFTs throughout the whole blockchain. And on May 29, there was like 45,000 of NFTs.
Because the profit is too good, right? So even looking at the price now, and when people are, there are a mix of events that happen during that week. But if you're looking at even at the lowest price of the BNB chain sneakers, it's still profitable because the profitability of sneaker minting on BNB chain is off the chart. And when you see that such massive returns, you know that something wrong is going to happen. But again, that's something that we should have implemented mechanics in the right beginning. But as it is what it is, and we cannot really do direct interventions to the market. And now we have the situations where that it was minting crazy and then causing a massive price up, where the minters are buying up all the sneakers available and then start to mint and then selling back to the market. You can see the big bell shape of the token prices, or the NFT prices, and also the token prices. So a smooth onboarding and transition, and also almost like a burst control through the minting scroll, it is, again, vitally important on newer realms, so that we don't have extreme cases of pump and dump.
Yeah, it's really vital. Speaking of this minting escrows, what about the sneakers burning? Do you have this in the plans?
Sneaker burning will be in the pipeline. We have now the UI designed, but then we have to also roll it out. I'm not sure if you follow the AMA closely. We talked about this, I think, last week. So you will burn one pair of sneakers, and you will have a chance to get a random attribute redistribution between the minimum and maximum of these two sneakers. Let's say you have a sneaker with 1 efficiency, and you burn a sneaker with 5 efficiency. Then the new sneaker will have efficiency between 1 and 5, a random number. It could be 2, it could be 5, it could be 3. So if you are not satisfied, you buy another one. Up until you have like all very high attribute on your own, the main sneakers.
Do you really think it will help? It will help with the lowering of the amount of the sneakers available in the market without restricting the minting option?
It will help, but again, there will be many mechanics like this. So nothing will totally resolve the sneaker inflations on the market. But let's say we implemented the gem burning, if we implement the sneaker burnings, we implement GST GMT burnings. Overall, it will curb and make a balance, especially that now we're working on Web2 onboardings. So the risk takers can migrate to the newer server and then basically comply with the new energy sharing mechanics. And for people that want to earn a safe return, or non-risk takers can stay at the older realms, which the return and also the cost of sneakers are also very more reasonable. And then you have the newer realm become older realm, and we create another newer realm, and games goes on.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Apart from the sneakers inflation, there's also this question that people get to ask me very often with the inflation of GST. I'm sure you've seen that there was like a lot of like millions of GST minted in 26th of May, both in BNB and Solana chain. What was it?
Okay, tell me one country that doesn't have inflations in their own currency.
Yeah, but speaking of the inflation, if it's like natural, it's understandable. But when you see this huge spike in the number of GST available in the market in 26th of May, what was it? It wasn't the people. It doesn't look like it was the people. it doesn't look like all the runners were just like, okay, I'm going to stop minting. I'm going to just cash out my GST. What caused it? What was the cause?
It's inevitable when the market is volatile. You cannot pinpoint to a few days of the GST spikes and say, oh, this is issues. We're looking at overall the curves of the GST inflation and overall curve of the the mint and burn is still very much balanced with the mild inflations of the GST, especially on the Solana server. So looking at a particular 2 days of panic sell and also that various of other events happened with a FUD, with the attack and everything else, it's not entirely fair to make a judgment, right? So we are talking about the overall slowly inflation of the app, not that like almost like a bank run type of a panic on the market.
So you think it was the people? It was just people panicking and fighting and trying to withdraw all their GST. Yes. The people who have otherwise would have minted, right?
So people are emotional. Humans are emotional. So when extreme cases happened, it will act in their best interest. In many cases, they sell, and that's fine. I mean, that's why there's an open market for people to freely enter and freely exit the market. But this is not a norm in STEPN. And this is extreme cases in STEPN. And thus, things normalize and people calm down, they will see, all right, it's still a very good
API. App. Yeah, definitely.
Also, the API is still crazy. You're looking at the return on investment, still crazy. You see, so
they are crazy. Yeah. They are crazy. But again, going back to my initial question, is that people are hearing from their friends about STEPN, and those friends are telling them, "Look, you have this API." Break even in like 2-3 weeks, but take into account that tomorrow this API could just drop. The reputational thing for the people. Again, how do you think you can tackle that?
It is a reputation, yes, but again, you tell people that you get the money back in 30 days, and now you probably get the money back in 90 days or 120 days. Are you going to get your money back?
Still cool. Which is still cool, yeah.
Yes, if you go out for any financial product, although, people say do your own research and not financial advisors, but name one have a very good financial returns. If you're looking for something safe, you are looking at 1% to 3% or even 5%, right? You're going to add the leverage, you're going to talk about 10% annually. And now you talk about something like a 4,000%. Of course, you're going to take risk.
Yeah, when it's risky, it's just like betting on one step.
It's very sensible conversation that we recommend, say, this is a awesome like financial instrument that you're going to make your money in 40 days. You are getting your narrative wrong, right? So get your narrative right. This is a Web3 running app, right, with some game element and also SocialFi that we want to build.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. As one of the questions that is not about monetary thing is like off top. How do you see the competitors that are pretty much copying your project one, like similar? I'm pretty much sure that you are aware of like the guys like Amazy, what's the other? There's the Kello. They were just copying your app. How do you think it will work for them? Do you hate them? Do you think they're cool? Do you let them just grow? What's your opinion on the copycats of STEPN?
I have personally tried several, but can you name one that actually makes money for people?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't see many. I don't see any on the market at the moment. I mean, you do the math, right? So they're selling their sneakers, yes, and they're selling their whatever their NFTs, and then are they working or are they functional? Are they earning good APY?
I'm not sure.
Are they getting
Didn't
tractions?
didn't try it.
I don't know. I have tried a few, but it doesn't work. So when there is a functional product, I will very much want to see how, again, it has to be a working product, right? So working concept doesn't work now because it's already now it's working concept. So, it's difficult for me to comment. I mean, what am I comparing them with? I mean, they're gonna have a functional.
Yeah, the question was if they grow, if they're successful, are you gonna hate them?
No, it's proven that this is a viable industry or like a genre at least. I mean, people can question this is unsustainable when we don't have the realm concept. But I do believe that it will be very much sustainable once we have the realm concept. Because you are building various of, even DeFi term, right? Building various of newer pools within your protocol, right? That's exactly how DeFi works. So as long as we can getting new users and retain our existing users and still providing values to them, and also borrowing our business partners value in order to add more values. And then this is very much a sustainable long-term project. The earning might not be that good, let's say in 5-10 years time, where people probably earn $1 or $10 for a cup of coffee every day, but still, it's awesome return if you're looking at over 10 million users. And those will be supported by the ecosystem partners, and then the value we created, and also other infrastructure created. So I think we want to prove this is a viable new genre in the Web3 world. And we are not going to do this alone. In the end, there are going to be new people with new ideas, with better ideas, hopefully, that will be on or will be doing this with us.
Yeah.
But at the moment, they need to try harder, right? They need to get their app on the App Store or the Google Play Store, and they need to sort out their wallet. They need to sort out their NFT marketplace. There's a whole bunch of issues they need to sort out. The UI is very easy. We didn't. I hate to say that, but we didn't spend super a lot of money on our UIs, right? So the UI is easy to copy. That's fine. But
the community is underlying.
Not. The community is not. It's the underlying mechanics not. Right. The future is not. Right. So we have to come up with new things in the future. The realm concept is only like 2 months old. 2 weeks old. And we need to prove that the realm works, with the third realms. And then we need to prove that it's adding values by the first realm, for example. So there's many things we have to explore. And that has to be done together with the communities.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason that we want to build a robust community that when they're making money, great. But when we are taking a hit, I want there to be with us, right, to build this together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I saw. That's what I was predicting that you were saying that, right? You have like pioneered this trend. The first one that really turned out successful in the play to earn beyond. So as we are in this topic, I was wondering, really interesting, your personal attitude towards the project that are trying to transfer your model onto other industries. I don't know, like music, anything can be like play to earn, anything. Do you think there is a chance for them to be successful as STEPN? For example, listening to music.
Yeah, let's say for music. Music is actually I was doing some feasibility studies for like music NFTs. It's certainly challenging because you have to have like something that can bootstrap, like seed users, for example. That is not so difficult to onboard, and with music, so much it's like a restaurant, right? So many different flavors, there's so many different sort of qualities, and types and personal flavor, right? If I want to eat pasta and over, let's say, hot pot, then it doesn't matter how good the hot pot is. I'll say, I'll go pasta. So it's all about personal taste, and personal taste is a very sort of personal thing. So you cannot really to quantify a lot of personal taste. Say, all right, that's one genre. It's difficult. So with music NFT will be something that finding a common ground for everyone is challenge. If we can find that, if we can then utilize that, then certainly it will become a new direction and new opportunities for us.
Yeah, and it will also heavily depend on the influencers that will really help the project, right?
So that's another sort of a myth thing. So bigger star doesn't need extra exposure. They already have the exposure. And smaller influencer or singers, then they will need your exposure. And then they will be having nothing to exchange. So you see, this is a dilemma, right? The big singer doesn't need it, and small singer can't afford it. So that has to be a lot of balance and value creations in place to roll out anything functional when it comes down to music platforms or music NFTs. Because you're looking at the statistics, the music NFT the music NFT market is less than the value of the Bored Apes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that it's very, very of a niche market at the moment. And the niche market doesn't scale. So that's unfortunately the truth. So we need to find a better common ground among people that can scale.
Yeah, I was just I meant that with STEPNs, the startuppers and the ones who have tried to create their own project, they just realized that anything in play to earn can work. Anything. Like imagine STEPN where you don't have to walk. Okay, imagine if you like start up a project with a bunch of cool influencers with a lot of funding, where people just have to click this start like in STEPN and just don't walk. Can it work? In case there's enough of funding and enough of influencers. What's your opinion? Can anything work?
It can work, but it doesn't.
What was so special about STEPN that it really worked? It was the first project in the world, basically, that really worked in this. What was so special? I mean,
I think in many cases, timing is very important. You can try really hard at the wrong time and getting nowhere. I think we are sort of the lucky one that we get into the market at the right time. Also with the functional product. So always have a functional product. At least we can verify if this model is working or sustainable. But again, nothing is perfect. Especially the POC, which stands for like a proof of concept, right? You have a proof of concept, that's fine. Then you have to have a prototype, which is fine. Then you have to have a alpha, beta, working product, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is important for people to understand that everything have a life, right? The app have a life, the human have a life, the earth have a life. So all we can do is to create new things to make their life more viable or like adaptable to the surrounding environment. So one day that we stop innovate, and one day we stop adding new features, and that will be the one day that will get into
die out. Yeah.
So yes. So that's also again, going back to the community topic that in the end that will be a community-driven project once we build the whole infrastructures, so that we will utilize the innovations of the community rather than the innovations of us. But again, so everything we do is to make the app last longer. And when it lasts longer, it will become a better app for people to use, to utilize, and a bigger app that have onboarding more users. and then to be able to create better values, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. I got it. Okay, so looking now at the list of the questions I got from the community, I think I have run out of them. Thank you very much, Yawn, for your time.
Okay,
Again, should really tell the people that we are right now at the experiment, basically, with STEPN doing the whole new thing that no one before has ever done. And yeah, this is like really risky. And it's really interesting to see what measures you're going to undertake in order for the app to last longer, in order to bring the more users. Okay, satisfying the older users, I think, is not really the case already. I mean, it's an experiment, and it's a very successful experiment that we are right now participating in. So,
yes,
good job, guys. I mean, really. I'm really curious if you're going to tackle and achieve this challenge that you have right now with the unsatisfied users. And I'm sure you can.
Yes.
You can handle. I'm sure you can tackle it because I mean you've created this app. I'm sure you can tackle the users who are unsatisfied, who think they have lost their money. Again, yeah, the whole ecosystem works. The market manages itself. So really cool. I mean, it's really interesting. I haven't been more curious in crypto since I started it back in 2017. So yeah.
Thank you.
I really wish good luck to you. Good luck to you. Thank you. Thanks for your time for the time listening it. Thank you, Yawn.
Thank you, and thank you for the audience.
Yeah. Thanks.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Bye.